The hidden language of numbers. Have you ever felt like the universe was whispering to you, through a pattern? A time on the clock. A number that kept reappearing? Maybe you glanced at your phone and saw 1111. Or maybe, in the darkest moment of your life, a number seemed to follow you, on receipts, street signs, phone numbers, as if it were trying to say, "This is not the end. Something is coming." What if it wasn't your imagination? What if numbers aren't just tools for measuring, but messages in disguise, ancient symbols encoded with spiritual blueprints? What if the universe isn't silent, but speaking to you in a language you've forgotten how to hear? Welcome to the journey of the 6 most powerful numbers of 2025. Plus one secret number you'll uncover at the end. These aren't random digits. They are the result of a rare alignment of energies, drawn from sacred numerology, Old World astrology, ancient Buddhist teachings, and even the cryptic prophecies of Nostradamus and Baba Vanga. These numbers are keys, not to winning the lottery of luck, but to unlocking the deep potential already written within your soul. In this guide, we will not only decode each number's spiritual and emotional vibration, we'll explore the real-life stories of transformation, rebuilding, loss, and rebirth that show how powerfully these numbers manifest in human lives. By the end, you won't just know the numbers. You'll know yourself more clearly. You'll begin to see the signs not as coincidences, but as invitations to rise, rebuild, release, reconnect, and realign. So take a deep breath, stay curious, and let's begin this journey with the number that builds new worlds from broken blueprints. The 7 sacred numbers of 2025, a journey through meaning, mystery, and transformation. Chapter 129, The Master Builder. Some numbers arrive like lightning, sudden, unmistakable, jarring. 29 doesn't arrive that way. It creeps in quietly, like a whisper you almost ignore, like a stranger you keep seeing in different places, wondering if fate is playing games. But 29 is not a game. It is a blueprint. In the world of numerology, 29 is known as the Master Builder. It fuses the deep emotional intuition of the number 2 with the power, closure, and spiritual completion of the number 9. The result is a paradox. A number that symbolizes both emotional depth and visionary ambition. A calling to build something lasting out of what was once broken. Sparkles the hidden life in 29. 29 often arrives in moments of emotional collapse, a divorce, a loss, a burnout, an identity crisis. At first, it feels like destruction, but that's only the surface. Those who resonate with 29 are rarely born into ease. They are initiated through pressure, sculpted by setbacks, refined by rejection, and shaped by the slow, silent process of inner reconstruction. To carry the energy of 29 is to be a bridge between pain and purpose, between vision and structure, between the spiritual and the physical. In astrology, 29 is tied to Saturn returns, times in life when you are pushed to take radical responsibility. It asks you to grow up, to root your dreams in reality, and to step into your higher self. But not all who meet 29 recognize it. Woman in Lotus Position Story. A life rebuilt. One number at a time. Take the story of Anya, a woman from India who found herself lost in the aftermath of a bitter breakup and professional betrayal. For months, she felt nothing, no direction, no purpose. Then something strange began to happen. She started seeing the number 29 everywhere, on her grocery receipts, on house addresses, in emails. At first, she ignored it. Then one night, she had a dream. A house she was building from scratch. As she looked at the bricks in the dream, she noticed each was stamped with the number 29. She woke up shaking. That morning, she decided to act, not rashly, but deliberately. She enrolled in an architecture course she had once abandoned. She designed her first freelance project within 29 days. And 1 year later, she had established her own sustainable design business, focusing on healing spaces. Today, Anya wears a ring engraved with 29. She says, "That number didn't change my life. It reminded me that I could." Chapter 2:17 The Silent Warrior. If 29 lays the blueprint, 17 is the steel frame that holds it through storms. In numerology, 17 holds the vibration of karmic restoration. It reduces to 8, 1 plus 7, the number of power, integrity, and cosmic balance. But unlike the traditional 8, which speaks of external success, 17 is forged in fire, in heartbreak, in failure, in silent battles no one sees. It is the number of those who rise from ashes, not loudly, but with quiet conviction. Fire the alchemy of pain into purpose. To walk with the energy of 17 is to have survived something. It marks the soul of a person who has been tested, not once, but again and again, until the lesson is no longer about endurance, but about transformation. 17 does not reward the victim mentality. It responds only to courage, to the willingness to own your pain and convert it into growth. It teaches that there is no strength like that which has been earned in silence. Family man woman girl story. Luis. The small business phoenix. Luis had always been the caretaker in his family, the son who stayed behind to keep the family bakery afloat while others left to chase big city dreams. For 5 years, he struggled against declining sales, debt, and exhaustion. When the business finally closed, Luis shut down emotionally. For months, he didn't speak to anyone about the pain. Then, by chance, or maybe design, he wandered into a used bookstore. An old numerology book fell off a shelf and landed at his feet. Out of boredom, he flipped through it and calculated his life path number. It was 17. The message was clear. You are not here to survive. You are here to rebuild. Luis started a new service helping local vendors develop online shops. He named the platform Phoenix 17. Within a year, it became a lifeline for dozens of struggling businesses in his town. Luis says, 17 taught me that broken doesn't mean done. It means beginning again, this time stronger. Chapter 3:11 The Spiritual Master. 11 is the number that sees the unseen. In numerology, 11 is considered a master number, often called the spiritual illuminator. It vibrates at a high frequency and acts as a portal between logic and instinct, between the external world and the deep, inner soul. People who are drawn to 11 are often intuitive, emotionally sensitive, and spiritually attuned. But this sensitivity is both a gift and a burden. It can lead to moments of profound clarity or total overwhelm. Milky Way, the gateway within. 11 isn't about answers. It's about questions. It doesn't give you direction. It points you inward. Astrologically, it aligns with Uranus, the planet of sudden insight and revolutionary truth. When the number 11 appears, it's a sign to pause, listen, and trust, even if the evidence isn't visible yet. Herb story. Teresa and the wake-up call. Teresa had been working in corporate healthcare for over a decade. Though outwardly successful, She often woke up in the middle of the night with panic attacks. Always at the same time, 3:11 a.m. She began noticing 11 everywhere. Finally, she searched the meaning and found herself immersed in spiritual texts about awakening and energy alignment. That was the catalyst. Teresa quit her job and enrolled in a healing arts school. Today, she works as an intuitive therapist, helping others access the very clarity she once denied herself. 11 didn't make sense to my mind, she says, but my soul already knew. Chapter 4:30 The number of rebirth. Some endings arrive with a bang. Others, like 30, unfold in silence. In numerology, 30 is a number of emotional maturity and renewal. The 3 symbolizes expression, joy, creativity, and connection. The 0 magnifies spiritual depth and the unknown. Together, they form an archetype of graceful surrender, of allowing something to end with dignity so something new can begin in peace. 30 is not a number of force. It is a number of release. Crescent moon, the wisdom of lunar cycles. This number is often activated during lunar events, particularly eclipses, which in astrology represent radical shifts, closures, and new beginnings. When 30 appears, it's an invitation to shed old skin, beliefs, identities, relationships that no longer align with who you are becoming. It's the energy of walking away not in anger, but in clarity. Dove story. Claudia's eclipse. Years ago, Claudia was stuck. Her apartment felt like a tomb. Her job drained her, and every relationship in her life felt like dead weight. Then came the eclipse, not in the sky, in her life. It began with an urge to clean, not just physically, but emotionally. She gave away clothes, burned old letters, blocked toxic numbers. 3 days later, she got a phone call offering a job in another city. She took it. That move led to a creative career she'd never dared dream of. That eclipse didn't end my life, she says. It ended the version of me that was afraid to start living. Chapter 5-8 The number of inner power. 8 is the number of the eternal loop, the infinity symbol, the one that holds its shape no matter how you turn it. It is the number of karmic balance, of material and spiritual harmony, and the embodiment of the principle, as within, so without. In numerology, 8 is where power meets purpose. It rewards integrity, not speed. It asks not what you've accomplished, but whether your efforts reflect your true soul mission. Balance scale, the mirror of the outer world. 8 teaches that life reflects back to you what you put into it, not just in action, but in energy. If you are chasing goals that are not yours, the universe resists. But when your intentions align with your inner truth, progress flows. Astrologically, this number resonates with Saturn, structure, and Jupiter, expansion. 2 forces that, when aligned, can produce extraordinary results. Person in lotus position story. Ernesto's alignment. For years, Ernesto was on a treadmill of success, chasing status, money, approval. He was constantly busy, yet hollow. Then came burnout. He started reading about the number 8. It wasn't the wealth or power that drew him. It was the idea that life is a loop. That what he gave out, resentment, stress, self-doubt, was coming back to him. So he slowed down, began meditating, set boundaries. Within a year, his work improved, but more importantly, his peace returned. He says, "I didn't get rich, I got aligned, and that was worth more." Chapter 6:41 The anchor of purpose. 41 is where it all comes together. It combines the structure and stability of the 4 with the drive and initiation of the 1. In spiritual terms, it's the number of action born from alignment. The power of knowing not just what to do, but why you're doing it, and moving forward with quiet certainty. 41 is for the builders of meaningful lives. It reminds us that every great structure starts with a foundation. Hammer and wrench divine action meets grounded reality. This number holds the energy of service, responsibility, and leadership, not from ego, but from deep purpose. Those who resonate with 41 are often rebuilding, restarting, or beginning a meaningful phase of life. It asks, what will you build that outlives you? Seedling story. Sylvia's thread of hope. During Argentina's economic crisis, Sylvia, a 61-year-old widow, began embroidering napkins just to survive. On a whim, she added a number to her first product tag, 41, the sum of 2 dates that had changed her life. Within 2 years, her embroidery turned into a small business that supported 11 other women. She later said, "That number reminded me that God builds too, but through our hands." Conclusion. The numbers were never just numbers. As we arrive at the close of this journey, let's pause and breathe in the path we've walked together. This wasn't simply a list of numbers. It was a map, a mirror, a message. Each number revealed a layer of transformation. Small diamond 29, the master builder. The energy of rebuilding after the breakdown. Of laying a new foundation with clarity and courage. Small diamond 17, the silent warrior. Resilience born from adversity. The strength to rise and rebuild even when no one is watching. Small diamond 11, the spiritual gateway. Your return to intuition. A reminder that guidance has always lived within you. Small diamond 30, the graceful ending. A chapter closed with wisdom, not regret, making space for a more authentic self to emerge. Small diamond 8, the balanced power. The quiet authority of aligned action. Reminding you that real success starts from within. Small diamond 41, the grounded purpose. A call to build something real, not just for yourself, but for the world that needs your light. These numbers weren't chosen randomly. They're archetypes, living energies, woven into the spiritual fabric of 2025. And if you felt something stir while reading, that was your deeper self recognizing the signal. Globe, where do we go from here? You now stand at a new beginning. With awareness, with tools, with truth. Here are your next steps. Reflect. Which number felt like a direct message to your soul? Record. Begin tracking numbers or signs you encounter, dreams, timestamps, receipts, instincts. Rebuild. Whether it's a belief, a business, a relationship, or a sense of purpose, choose one thing to realign this month. Reconnect. Spend time in stillness. Listen for what is whispered, not shouted. That's usually where the truth lives. This isn't about superstition. It's about symbolic intelligence, the ancient, intuitive knowing that reality speaks through signs, and that your awareness is the key to decoding them. Glowing star, join the movement, the road to tranquility. If this journey opened your eyes or shifted something within you, then you're already walking the road to tranquility. This is more than a channel. It's a sanctuary for souls ready to wake up, grow inward, and live outward with intention. Pushpin, subscribe to the road to tranquility to stay connected to new insights. Cosmic energy updates, symbolic interpretations, and real stories of transformation. Mailbox, comment below. I recognize the sign. And tell us, which number moved you the most? Movie camera. Each video we create is a stepping stone in your inner evolution. So when you're ready, return, rewatch, reflect, and rise again, stronger. Remember, you were never waiting for the signs. They were waiting for you to see them. And now that you have, your journey has already begun. Welcome to the road to tranquility.